Go for it.
Friggin' what up, dude? Strider Wilson, and I'm the host of this podcast that's mine, going to be called History is Dying. History is Dying with Strider Wilson. Darkness from the Friggin' what up, dude? Welcome back to another ep of frickin' History is Dank, dude. Fired up right now. If you're watching on the YouTube, my hair's a little disheveled. We're recording a little earlier right now. Gotta wake up, dude. Gotta get myself a nice cold brew, a little jet fuel. Let's go. I've been thinking about, lately, during this COVID era, it's a time for reflection, introspection. And you think about careers. You think about friggin' relationships, although I'm set. I got my friggin' rock, my friggin' coral, dude, my dank GF, dude. You think about the meaning of life, dude. You look up at the sky and you just go, what up? What's the deal? And I've been thinking, and Aaron, I'm going to take a step in my life. And, as you well know, it's well documented, the Going Deep pod. And on here, I've probably mentioned it. Like, when it comes to blazing nugs, smoking weed, dude, charring up doinks, freaking, I never really partake, My brothers try to get me to blaze, and I'm like, dude, I got, anxiety and stress, and I don't like it. But I think now what I'm going to do is if I'm offered, once, I'm not going to share right now, put my mouth on where someone else's mouth has been right now. Unless it's my dank GF, what up? I will now, when offered weed, I will go, all right, dude, I'll take a baby rip. I'm going to take baby rips. Little baby rips.
Wow.
Just like this. Quick, dude, and then I'll go, hand it back. But I will reserve my right to say, no, I'm good, if I'm driving, whatever, anything like that. Come on. But I'm going to be open to going, all right, take a baby rip. Tight.
I think, have you seen the Dana Carvey special where he talks about smoking with Paul McCartney?
No.
I think he's at Lorne Michaels' house and Paul McCartney's there because, of course, and Paul McCartney passes him a joint and it's just like, yeah, then sure.
That's the move. It's so, look, when I'm having an IPA, I know exactly what I'm getting into. Weed is not something that it's not the same tilt. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone's like, dude, just blaze tonight or instead of drinking or something, it's like, no. It's not the move, dude. But I'm going to be more open. All I'm saying, maybe this is just maybe a one step towards just being a little more open. You got to live. You only live once, dude. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about, And while you're young, dude, that sometimes they say youth's wasted on the young, dude. Not going to be wasted on me, dude. But and maybe we'll make stuff taste danker, dude. Dude, Aaron, maybe if I take a baby rip, Five Guys might taste good.
It does taste good. It's just more expensive than In-N-Out. I get it.
I say that because I'm ripping on Aaron, dude. Right now I'm wearing the Five Guys shirt, dude. If you're looking, got a sport in it. It fits nice, dude.
It's nice and soft.
Freaking dank. Probably just go to In-N-Out and crush it in this shirt, dude. Maybe spill some ketchup on there from one of the untasty fries at In-N-Out. I will agree, they're not that tasty.
Not tasty.
So that's the move. What's going on with you, Aaron? Anything new?
I was just thinking how I would accept drugs from a celebrity or someone, a hero. And then I realized, I've actually turned down pizza from a hero.
What?
Which is
who?
Paul F. Tompkins, the comedian.
Oh yeah. I love him a lot.
So much. He offered me free pizza once, and I was like, "No, I'm good," because I'd had pizza that day already, and against my better judgment, and I regretted it ever since.
It would have been hilarious, like you took the pizza. And then because you had already eaten it, and then he saw you like throwing it away later.
No, he was literally like, who could turn down free pizza? And then I was like, I'm good actually. And he's like, well, we found him.
That's even a better moment though. I like that. That's a more stoke-inducing moment. It's somewhat unique, And you sort of were the heel for his bit right there. That was like a wrestling move by you were able to play the villain for his bit, and I'm sure he got a little extra praise by that.
Yeah,
it's a skill that you don't see too much, Aaron, and you have it. That's friggin' straight up dank of you, dude. Who would you like the drug I want to try least would probably be like heroin.
Yeah.
But who would I accept heroin from? They're like, hey man, I got this needle. You want to want chill? I'm like, maybe Will Ferrell, dude. I love Will Ferrell. It'd be so against type. He'd be like, hey, man, you want to do some heroin and watch my movie Elf? Like,
man, I don't know. I don't
like
know.
Opium?
I feel like heroin's a whole, just because of the injection part. Like if it was snortable, even that I don't really want to do ever.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody that give you heroin.
Too much work.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a real skilled marketing team to sell you some heroin. Like if you were trying to sell heroin on an ad on TV, it'd be like, it's so easy. You go to a nice rundown house, find it, you buy it from somebody you don't know who's probably going to threaten you, have cash, be ready to get punched in the eye, but maybe you'll come away with it. Go to go to an abandoned home. Who knows what you're going to find in there, asbestos and everything. Lay down on a mattress that's been peed on and otherwise, and then tie a belt around your arm. Think back on what's troubling you, then clear your mind. Try to get in a positive state. Freaking draw the liquid out of there so you can stick it in your arm, bleed a little bit, and pass out. Escape life for a few hours. Heroin.
Yeah. If you're lucky, you'll wake up with a needle in your heart. Pulp Fiction style.
Exactly. Die for 90 minutes to 2 hours. Be dead, then come back. Yeah, not a, I don't know. Sounds kind of intriguing. That's wild. It attracts some people.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, dude. Totally switching gears now. It's February right now. Shortest month. Valentine's Day is coming up. Very fired up. Looking forward to Valentine's Day with my friggin' GF, although when this episode comes out, it'll be after that. So just know that my GF and I enjoyed ourselves when you watch this. Just know that. And I'm sick. I'm twisted. That's why I use that voice, dude. Because I know I'm just really eager, really gonna have a fun time. But you know what? So's my GF. We figured each other out, dude. Okay, but yet we're keeping things fresh. How do we do that? I'll compliment her. We're enjoying ourselves. I'll go, those freaking whole wheat noodles. While we're just in the throes of passion, I'll look in her eyes. I'll say, those whole wheat noodles at Trader Joe's. Such a freaking good call. I can't even tell the difference. It's so much healthier for my gut. Thank you. Enjoy. You know what I mean? I'll be in the middle of enjoying and just be like, can you tell I switched detergents? It's less irritating on both of our skins right now. Hold on. Roll over. Get on the bottom, because I'm usually at bottom. Roll over, get on the bottom, experience the sheets. Stuff like that, dude. Keep it fresh, dude. Just letting her know that I'm loving her in ways that she's not even known about, while I'm loving her in ways that she's definitely known about. Dang. So today, it's February. This month it's February. Valentine's Day, boom, check. Aaron, do you have any, what'd you do? I guess I shouldn't ask you, this is just hilarious. Aaron, tell me about the future Valentine's Day that's going to happen right now that's going to come out. Definitely not going to work.
Well, yeah, we're going to be in San Diego with family, so hopefully Lee and I can leave the baby and escape for a little bit, but, it's not like we're going to go to a restaurant or anything, just...
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Excuse me if it's crude in advance.
Mm-hmm.
You just got a new vehicle.
I did.
Freaking very dank new vehicle. It's a Jeep. Freaking love Jeeps. I'm a valet. I'm not some guy. I've been in everything. Love those cars. Love them. Fun, dude. It's a nice guy car. It's a good dad mobile, dude, as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also got enough horsepower to get you around and get you where you need to be. Maybe you and your wife, during family time, you're down there, grandma and grandpa, hey, watch the little girl, whatever. You guys have a little fun. Then you go and you break the car in. You know what I'm saying?
Christen it, yeah.
Christen that vehicle. You know what I'm saying?
It's possible. I don't know, man. We're old.
Maybe you go over to Sunset. You're going to be in San Diego.
Yeah.
Drive over to Sunset Cliffs. Give yourself a nice view. Break it in. Look, you don't have to answer right now. Don't want to put you in any pressure. I know that's it's a topic that's not exactly appropriate. But like I said, this is a podcast. We take risks. Okay?
Yep.
This is a medium where you take risks. And everything stays. I'm not editing this crap out. Staying right in there, baby. Kidding me? Brave and honest. So today we're going to be talking about one of the heaviest historical topics you can. It's February. It's Black History Month. And I was on HBO. My GF went to bed. My freaking dog was cuddling up on me, Sunny. It was freaking dank. And I was perusing. And I was like, what am I going to watch right now? And then HBO had a movie Amistad queued up for me right there, ready to go. And I was like, man, I haven't watched that in years. I think I saw it like back in when I was in 8th grade. We were doing American history or something, and we saw it. And I was like, it's a Spielberg movie, written by David Franzoni, who also did a little movie called Gladiator. Maybe you've heard of it. Dank. I think he also wrote Robin Hood, so maybe you've probably not heard of that. The Russell Crowe one.
Oh.
Yeah. Best Robin Hood movie, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
I mean, Prince of Thieves is good if you don't care about the accent not being there.
Yeah, dude, I did actually try to rewatch that not too long ago, and I got to like the scene when he's on the wall or whatever, and he saves the young kid or like, I don't know, helps someone out with a horse. He was a royalty, and I was like, yeah, man, I had to switch it off right there. But it is a great movie.
It's good. I mean,
Morgan Freeman's a beast.
Alan Rickman. Ooh.
Yeah, love Alan, dude. Alan
Chewing
Rickman,
it
the
up.
sheriff.
Love it.
He's the beast, dude. And it's got Morgan Freeman, who's also in Amistad. Have you seen Amistad, Aaron?
I never have, and I love Spielberg. I have not.
It's a fantastic movie. And now this...
What year did it come out?
97.
Oh, so it's before the one before Saving Private Ryan. Okay.
Exactly. And you know what? These historical movies are important, and that's part of why I'm sharing the story today, even though this story is not... I mean, this story does have a positive ending to it, but, it's a story that's about slavery, so it's entrenched in racism and misery and just all, violence and just an ugly era of American and really world history, because it involves the transatlantic slave trade. And it's about, there's the Golden Triangle, and it was legal for years. This Amistad story, it kicks off in February of 1939, and it's like these Portuguese and Spanish.
1839.
Yeah, sorry, 1939. Yeah, thank you very much.
Woo!
Yeah, that'd be real. The
world is on the brink of WW2.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, 1839. Thank you very much, Aaron. But for hundreds of years before that, what the story we're about to share, the Amistad story, was all legal and was taking place, no questions asked, and then finally there was some progress, and the Amistad Case is what we're going to be looking at, because it becomes a trial, and the movie focuses mainly on the trial. And so it is a step in the right direction, though we're still, as we know today, having to take more steps towards the, towards progress, and not only tolerance of people of different races, but I like to say benevolence and friendship would be the general direction. And Amistad, La Amistad, the name of the ship from our story, means friendship in Spanish. So I think that's what we're keeping in mind, and keeping in mind as we share this, just, how we can be more freaking, better to our fellow man, dude. Spread the good stoke going forward. But today, we look back, and we always look back, because if we don't look at history, we are doomed to repeat ourselves. So keeping that in mind, we go to, thank you very much, Aaron, February of 1839, not 1939. And it starts with, there's some Portuguese sailors on there. Now I looked at it, but it's a Spanish ship. And these are, and I'll share the names of these guys, but it's illegal slavers capture about 53 Africans from Mendeland, which is now Sierra Leone, and it was actually Sierra Leone at that time as well, but formerly Mendeland, of the Mende people. And they go, well, really what they would do is employ people to go in and capture people from their villages, take them to like this slave fortress that was like, in the movie they talk about it like it was, a hidden island. And then from there, they would they do illegal purchase of slaves, take them to Cuba, because it was legal in Cuba, international slave trade, but not in the United States. So if you went to Cuba, then they could, they would sign proper documentations, forge it, bring them into the United States, and be like, oh no, they were purchased in Cuba. So it wasn't like they weren't illegally captured. These were born slaves. And that's going to be very important, that these people on the Amistad, these Africans, were born free people, and that's going to come in to play in a little bit. But also noted that it's all like legal jargon and terminology, and it's so just like cold and cut and dry where it's like, had they been slaves, there would be no court case, no nothing. And Matthew McConaughey's character actually like brings that up early on. Like he just looks at it so cut and dry. He's like, look, he's like, your case, we're going to win. But really they want these people to be free and be like sent back to Africa to where they should be living freely and go back to their lives before these atrocious things happen to them. But he's like, look, they're slaves. There should be no case because they have no rights. So it's okay. And then if they aren't slaves and they were Africans, then whatever they did doesn't, like, out at sea, it's like maritime law, and then we win the case anyway, and they can go back. But then these abolitionists, whose names I'll share with you in a little bit, were like, no, we can't do that second option because then they would just get extradited to Cuba and then would end up becoming slaves anyway. And that's the whole point of an abolitionist. We want to get rid of it. So we need to fight this case and prove that they were illegally stolen from their homes, brought to Cuba, and then trying to just be, thrown into the evil machine that is slavery at that time. So it was a big uphill battle and a lot of things going against them. And so what happens is during the Middle Passage, which is like, I'll say this now, like one of the worst things any humans have ever done to other humans has to be Middle Passage. And they depict it in the movie. I'd say watch it out. Won't get into gory details now, but just like,
it's on Netflix.
What's that, Aaron?
It's on Netflix.
It's on HBO right now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you can watch it.
I will definitely check it out.
And Jaimon Hansu's character, who plays like the protagonist, he becomes like, his name's Cinque, and who's a real guy, and he breaks free, frees some of his other detained captives, free people, his other free Mende people. Part of me want to say, oh, he frees the other slaves in here, but no, they're not. These are free people. So he frees them, the people who have been shackled illegally. And dude, they go out there, they kill the captain, they freaking kill the cook, who, like, I was looking at this article, the cook would torment them and say that that when they got to, because the people didn't know what was happening, dude. Like, imagine that you're being taken from your village in the middle of the night or whatever, hit over the head, taken to a fortress, put on a ship, chained up. Like, it's like aliens are coming and abducting you. It's like you have no idea.
Yeah, all your captors speak a language you don't understand.
Yeah, they're speaking a foreign language. They look a way that you've never seen before. This is 1839. And the Mende people, I looked this up, like, you would rarely travel more than 20 miles from your village in your whole life. That's if you're a trader, like a, not a traitor, like a trader, like a merchant. Yeah. Most of the people in Sierra Leone were like subsistence farmers, and so, there would be you would, sow your land and get your livestock and hunt a little bit, and that's what you did. And then you see these straight up aliens come take you, and the chef would torment them, and he'd be like, I'm imagining this, but it's documented that he'd say, what we're going to do is we're going to take you and go and eat you, and we're going to cook you up. So just a real piece of shit. And so that guy, he got killed. And then
who plays that guy?
You know what? They don't really do that, and they don't really go into that in the movie. That was from another article that I read.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but they show the captain get killed, and then they show two other guys who come into the court case in a little bit. I keep saying, I'll tell you their names in a second, but I want to like dissect the court case all in one segment. They didn't know how to. They're not. Cinque and his friends are not sailors. They're like, we need you to turn the ship around. And then of course the two Spaniards on there were like, oh yeah, we'll take you back to Africa, don't worry. And then there's a scene in the movie like where when the stars come up, like the earliest maps in man were maps of the stars, not maps of land. And so Cinque knew how to, get around by the stars, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, turn the boat around. Like, we're going west still. You need to go east. But then fog rolls in, like weather, and they basically go up because they had already gotten to Cuba, and then they go up the American coast, and then like they start running out of supplies, and then on like the coast of in August of 1839, off the coast of New York, an American naval vessel comes upon the ship, and they're like, what the heck's going on here? The U.S. government basically then seizes the ship off the coast of New York. They believe that, looking at the documents on there, that because they're forged documents, that it was slaves from Cuba who then, had an uprising. So they put everyone back in chains and take them to up to actually they'd go to New Haven in Connecticut, the port up there for some reason. Maybe it was like northern. Says it was off the Long Island coast, so I don't know why they wouldn't have gone to New York City. Maybe they did go to New York, and then for some reason the trial takes place in Connecticut. But they go up there and they seize the ship, and so then it comes a question of, were these illegally captured? Were these people on the ship, Cinque and his Mende compatriots, were they illegally captured, or were these slaves from Cuba who had an uprising and then need to be sent back to Cuba or whatever? And at this time in 1839, there's a lot of abolitionists. I look back, there is a big anti-slavery movement going on in the United States. This case, the Amistad, basically puts the spotlight right on it. So tensions that have already been brewing, even since probably even the beginning of slavery, but it rises and rises. But a big thing in 1829, was the part of the Missouri Compromise and the Kansas-Nebraska Act, was those states were created because people wanted slaves in one of them and not in the other. There was a thing called Bleeding Kansas, where pro-slavery and anti-slavery activists flood their way down there to sway the vote, and then they end up fighting each other. So, Civil War, what do they say? Not stepping stones, but the table is being set. And the Amistad is just basically this is definitely a main course on that table of it's going to lead to a civil war based on how the ruling of this case goes, and we'll get into a little bit of why. And that's part of why this case is so important, because it shows you that, because it's rooted in racism. It's what's the difference between them being their people is what it should come down to, is what the case should come down to. And we'll get into what John Quincy Adams argues in a little bit in front of the Supreme Court. But it's somebody who is born into this horrendous arrangement that we have, they get no rights, but then someone who's stolen into it, they are free people. But it's no, everyone should be a free person, obviously, but that's not how the thinking was back then. And the Southern economy was so entrenched in it, and it's slavery is such a part of their identity that it was they felt it was a affront to them. And in many cases, it's crazy that these sentiments exist to this day, but obviously not in such an extreme way, but
still, capitalism in itself is let's pay as little as possible to our workers.
That's so true. It's 100% true.
Directly into the microphone.
Dude, you get these things of people have the argument of, dude, Bezos, he's a job creator. He's, Amazon, all these big companies, people love that someone can get mega, mega, mega rich, and it's, it's great. They think that's capitalism, but they're the free market. It's no, that's a myth. There's always rules to the market. There's always, it's who do those rules benefit? Right now they're benefiting the top dogs. And Bezos can make a lot of...
Always benefited the top dogs.
Yeah, it's always haves versus have-nots. And it's big companies are not job creators. They are job eliminators by definition, because their entire purpose is to get the most out of the fewest amount of people to meet their bottom lines. Eliminate budget, maximize profit. Overwork people, don't give them breaks. Dude, I was looking at this Amazon commercial. Have you seen it, where it spreads out and it says this is extra cynical of me, but it's panning out on an Amazon airplane, and it's we've dropped all these medical supplies for COVID and meals to people where hurricanes have affected people and blah blah blah. And it's yeah, dude, but you don't give your workers bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
What are the stats on that? And
20,000 Amazon employees have gotten COVID.
Yeah, exactly. We've had to, so it's just so, I don't know, it's just so two-faced. And I'm sure it is freaking dank that a drone can bring me, charcuterie for my orgy if I need to, in 25 minutes. We're out of grapes, let's go. That is dank. And that's the thing, is that the consumer will lose a little bit if we go to more mom and pop shops stuff. But, what do we want as a society? That's a question we got to ask. And that's a question that society is asking itself in 1839. At least these lawyers are asking themselves. And so the movie Amistad focuses on the case, right? So there's a revolt at sea. The ship is then captured in August of 1839. And then meanwhile, the whole time, Cinque and the Mende people are living in like horrible conditions. They're freaking put in jail every night. They're putting on display in court. And then this is brought up to, because like I mentioned, the anti-slavery movement, abolitionist movement, Martin Van Buren is the president at the time, 8th president of the United States. And he's like, let's just send them back to Cuba. We won't even think about it. And they're like, no, it's kind of a bigger issue than that because there's some wealthy, maybe the case happened up in New Haven because some abolitionists up there, like mainly led by like Louis Tepin, Reverend Joshua Leavitt, and Reverend Simon Jocelyn. And I think they were putting money behind the case. Like if there's no money in it, then you got no chance. And so these guys were backing the Amistad revolters. I'm like trying to think of the right term. I should have like thought of this before I started it. Of like basically the 43 people on trial. You know, that's all there are. They're people, right? At the end of the day, that's what it's going to come down to. So the trial is going to begin in January 1840. District Court, Hartford, Connecticut. Matthew McConaughey does in the movie, he plays a character who is a real life character. His name is, I'm on the IMDb right now. I'm like, dude, McConaughey's not top of the
no, this is pre-reconnaissance.
Yeah, it really
this
is.
Just after A Time to Kill.
Which is also a great movie.
Probably how he got this gig.
100%.
He's dating Sandra Bullock at the time, probably.
Another courtroom movie. Oh, I didn't know he did it, Sandra Bullock.
Oh, yeah. After A Time to Kill, for sure.
Great call, dude. Falling in love on set, age-old story. This is Jaimon Hansu's breakout role right here. Mm-hmm. For sure. Jaimon Hansu is amazing in this movie, by the way. Everyone, I mean, it's unbelievable. I would definitely watch. This is star-studded cast. It's got, what's his name, dude?
Model turned actor.
Yeah, dude. I looked him up. He's a model.
Yeah, he's in the Janet Jackson video.
Yes, that was his first thing. That was his breakout. Dude, he moved to, I think, France. Was like living on the streets and then was discovered. And yeah, dude, and a great actor. Are you kidding me? Yep. Dude, in Gladiator, so good. And so good in Amistad.
Saw him in Shazam.
He's in Shazam?
At the very beginning, yeah. He's like the wizard.
Amazing. Dude, Shazam. What a movie. They asked Shaq why he did that. He's like, someone paid me $9 million.
No, that's Kazam. That's the common conception.
I'm thinking Kazam, yeah.
Yeah, Shazam.
Which one's Shazam?
The one with Zachary Levi that just came out where he's fucking jacked. He's a superhero. It's a DC movie.
Oh, he's like chewing bubble gum?
Yeah, on the poster.
I heard it was okay. I hate that poster. I hate so much.
Yeah, the poster sucks. It doesn't tell you anything. But
it's so stupid.
It's a pretty good movie, yeah.
I hear it's pretty good, though. Maybe I'll have to watch it. But yeah, whoever marketed that is probably the same person who's marketing heroin. No good. No bueno. So, dude, McConaughey plays Sherman Baldwin. He's the lawyer. And let me get back to my friggin' notes here. He, so he has to go to, like, they've got a great scene in Spielberg where they're like, well, we need proof. Like, there's documents on here, like, we're going to believe the U.S. government wants to just send them back to Cuba. And those are the orders that are coming down from Van Buren, the executive branch. Like, they want to appease trade with, there's like the Queen of Spain, Isabella II, who's played by Anna Paquin or whatever. What's her name? Anna Paquin. Wow. And she's super young. She's like, in real life, Queen Isabella II at the time was like 9 years old. And she's like, no, I want, this is, and like...
She was the youngest Oscar winner, I think.
Was she really?
Yeah.
What did she win for?
The Piano, I think.
Interesting. Dude, she's a freaking beast actor.
Because she's from New Zealand, I believe.
Legend.
Which was, The Piano was in New Zealand.
Freaking New Zealand, freaking dank country, dude.
Oops. Nope.
Best export? Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
So, dude, McConaughey, and there's a great scene in the movie. He argues the case. He shows that the boat was actually, they had documents. They changed all the names. He shows that they committed an atrocity. He like proves because they literally at sea murdered Mende people. They threw them overboard because they didn't have enough provisions, which would happen all the time a horrendous aspect of the transatlantic slave trade. So terrible. And he proves that this happened because like the names didn't match up on the ship from like a known illegal slave boat like named like the Takata. And then he's like, that's the log from this boat. They just put them on the Amistad. Forged paperwork said that they bought these people in Cuba, these free people in Cuba, as people born into slavery, which obviously did not happen. He proves that. Boom, the judge, who was handpicked by Van Buren's guy to rule in their favor and just be able to just, you know, swipe this whole Amistad case under the rug. The judge goes, nah, man, I can't do it. He has a conscience at the end of the day, and he can't deny the evidence in front of him. And he goes, I believe that these people were not, I believe these were people from Africa, born free men, and I can't rule that they need to be extradited back to Cuba. And so then Van Buren, he appeals because he wants to keep looking good. He wants to get reelected. There's a reelection coming up. And so he appeals, and because he wants to appeal to the Southern voters, and goes to the Supreme Court. And then this is where things get good, dude. John Quincy Adams, played by a little actor, my freaking dog, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude is a beast, dude. He goes on there and this monologue that he delivers in front of the Supreme Court, it's unreal. He's a known, in the movie they do a good job, like Franzioni does a good job in the script where like they immediately go to John Quincy Adams, and he's of the 5th president of the United States, a former president. And now he's sitting in Congress at 73 years old. And he's like, look, he says to him, he's like, you've gone too far up the ladder too soon. Like you guys, and he kind of points them in the right direction, but he's just, you know, he's a statesman. He's played the game. And the sad thing about this whole Amistad case is it's like they have to play the legal game just to give these people their rights who were stolen from their homes. It's so insane. But you know, they have to play the game. And freaking John Quincy Adams steps up once it gets to the Supreme Court and helps them out. But first I want to backpedal because I'm just remembering now. I kept saying, oh, I'll tell you about these people. I'll tell you about these people. So you have the Spaniards who were left alive on the Amistad after the revolt were Montez and Ruiz. They're the ones who faked the paperwork saying that they purchased the
Montez from Workaholics.
Montez?
Sorry.
Was he from?
It's Eric Griffin from Workaholics.
Oh,
character's name.
Dude, Workaholics. I haven't seen enough episodes. I need to freaking watch more, dude. I need to crush more. I like Anders, dude.
He's great.
So Pedro Montez and Jose Ruiz say they purchased 53 of the African captives as slaves, including, basically that's what the term I should be using. These are captives.
Yep. Kidnapped.
Yep. 100%. 49 adult males, 4 children, 3 of them girls. And then on June 28th, oh no, never mind. That's just my old notes, but that's what we're dealing with here. 53, right? And even including kids. Cinque, played by Jaimon Hansu, goes by 2 names. Joesph Cinque. Cinque is the name he goes by in the movie, but he's also known as Sengbe Pieh. In a quick note about the Mende people, I looked this up because I wanted to find out a little bit more about them. They have like 2 like secret societies, and it's like not that secret, but it's like all the women are part of something called like Sende, and that's where like they learn all of their, you know, like sort of ethics and responsibilities and duties and everything. And then men have the Poro, P-O-R-O, Poro, and that's where you'll learn like, you know, farming, and then basically like all of like their cultural identities and stuff. So they kind of, they're very, they go into those 2 factions, which is kind of very interesting. But I bring that up, the gender, because the Mende were the only people known to have a mask dance. Now, mask dances in African tribes were very common, but the Mende people were the only one to have it be like Sende led. So like the spirit dancers like was led by women. So the only tribe that something that set them apart. Interesting. Exclusively worn by women. And so you do the spirit dance. That the belief was, you'd be possessed by whatever spirit you were trying to invoke, and then, obviously something good would come of it, depending on whatever spirit and whatever dance came about, or something maybe bad or whatever, something would be interpreted through the dance. Anyway, dude, so you got Jose and Ruiz. They want claim to their captives. So they're so bold, so audacious, dude. No. Look it up here. We still want our quote, what we believe is our fake property. Unbelievable. And then the captain of the ship that found the Amistad off the coast, they want claim to because it's like maritime law or whatever. Like if you come upon a ship, you get the belonging, like you take ownership of the ship and its cargo. So if they were ruled as being slaves by the court, then that captain would then own the cargo, which is people. And so, and the boat and everything with it. So he would have wanted that too. So it's just basically, dude, it's so cut and dry and so greedy. And then luckily we have the abolitionists who are battling on behalf of, the human rights of these captives, the 53 captives, who a few of them even died during the prosecution, just like a 2-year process, right? The ship was found in August of 1839, and now we're going to the Supreme Court, and it's 1841, February 22nd. That's when the ruling comes down. And basically it's just like John Quincy Adams going up there and being a friggin' total baller. And he basically just cites the Declaration of Independence. That's all he asks. He's got like a great line where he's like, I can give you the whole quote right now, dude. Maybe it has a little bit of this is from the movie, but he actually, toward the tail end, it's what he said in real life. But he starts out and he's talking about Cinque here. Anthony Hopkins goes, "This man is black. We can all see that. But can we also see as easily that which is equally true, that he is the only true hero in this room? Now, if he were white, he wouldn't be standing before this court fighting for his life. If he were white and his enslavers were British, he wouldn't be standing. So heavy the weight of medals and honors we would bestow upon him. Songs would be written about him. The great authors of our times would fill books about him. His story would be told and retold in our classrooms. Our children, because we would make sure of it, would know of his name as well as they know Patrick Henry's." Honestly, I don't really know Patrick Henry. I got to look it up and I'll let everyone know right now. Do you know Patrick Henry?
He's "Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death," I believe is his.
See, there you go.
Quote. Yeah.
And he's a founding father.
Yeah.
There we go. As well as they would know, and I do know that. Of course, everyone knows "Give Me Liberty" or "Give Me Death." Yet if the South is right, this is picking up Hopkins' quote right here, John Quincy Adams. Yet if the South is right, what are we to do with that embarrassing, annoying document, the Declaration of Independence? What if its conceits? All men created equal, inalienable rights, life, liberty, and so on and so forth. What on earth are we to do with this? I have a modest suggestion. Boom, dude. Free men deserve their inalienable rights, dude. Fire quote by Hopkins via John Quincy Adams. Another fire quote by Anthony Hopkins. "I'm going to kill the motherfucker." About a grizzly in a little movie called The Edge. Watch that. Give yourself a double feature, dude. Joseph Story was the Chief Justice presiding over this case, the Amistad case. And he noted, and this was just it's interesting to note that none of them are, sure, maybe they have a moral sentiment, and John Quincy Adams is appealing to men's morals with that. But he says in the beginning, he's like, I really don't have much to say. I don't know why I keep blanking on McConaughey's character. Mr. Baldwin, he's like, Mr. Baldwin has so adequately and so perfectly argued this case that it stands here before you today. And the only reason we're here is because the long-reaching, over-empowering arm of the executive branch, like he calls out the president. And it works because John Quincy Adams was a former president, and he knows exactly how it works. And he even pulls up a document. He's like, he gets this, and he sees this, and this is why he's doing it, and this is why this is messed up. And he's like, who would know better than me? And so he's the perfect guy to argue the case. And he does appeal to maybe people's morals, but also they have to have like a legal ruling. In Joseph's story, he noted that since the Mende, rather than the Cuban traders of the enslaved people, were in possession of the Amistad when it was found in U.S. territory, the Mende could not be considered as enslaved people imported into the U.S. illegally. So he's like, since the revolt happened, since literally these captives stood up for themselves, fought back, took possession of the ship, that they were not, and like it's a technicality, like, oh, if they were in, if obviously they didn't get revolt, if they didn't uprise, like they would have just gone to Cuba and been, the ship that, I'm sure the Amistad had a ton of unfortunate captives and went into the system, and it's so brutal. And even before that, when it was legal, before like, I think 1807 is when actually I have some dates written down, don't mark me on that yet, but I'm going to get into it, was legal for hundreds of years. So it's just terrible. But now it's coming to a head point where it's now being deemed illegal, and the court is seeing it because previous laws set us up for this success in this case. Even though it is a Pyrrhic victory, people had to die because of it, suffer because of it. So terrible. But at the end of the day, the fight was not in vain, and the Mende people were set free, and it gives you a nice happy ending and everything, but like in the reality of it, the U.S. government didn't require the government to pay for the return of the people to their homeland, and the salvage ship still went to the U.S. Navy officer. So it's still just so whack. It's like, ugh. I mean, they, Cinque and the Mende captives got what matters most. They got their freedom, which they should have never had to have fight for in the first place. But some abolitionists raised funds again, and in November of 1841, Cinque and 34 of the 53 surviving Africans went back to their home. They set sail from New York aboard a ship called the Gentleman, accompanied by Christian missionaries, and they go to their hometown, Freetown in Sierra Leone, which is like a British-controlled colony at that point.
Called Freetown.
And it's called Freetown, yeah, which was originally called Gainesville. Close by was like the capital of like Sierra Leone, but then there was an African king down there, like King Tom something, I forget, and he made a deal with the British to say, okay, you can make Gainesville, but then his successor attacked that village and like burnt it, took the resources, and then they reset up another capital at Freetown, which exists today. And then good news though is a lot of the survivors of the Amistad, they went on to share their story. They where is it? My notes. They did a lot of good stuff. Let's see. Yeah, dude, they went back to their hometown, or not their hometown, but their home country. It was actually in civil war when they went back. So, that was out of their control. But
did they leave here before our Civil War?
Yeah, they left here. Yeah, 1840.
Yeah.
What did I say? 1847. Yeah, they left.
Yeah. So that's.
Yeah,
they avoided this one at least.
Totally. So they just laid groundwork for ending the enslavement in Sierra Leone and stuff. Even though they had a free colony, like there was still illegal happenings going on there, and they fought to just educate people on it and set up the right necessary defenses for it. There was some schmoll online when I was doing this research that was like, oh, Cinque went back there and got involved in the slave trade himself, but there's no documented proof of that.
Yeah,
he says there was a documentary references, but it's no, dude, he's just trying to call him a hypocrite. It's that guy's he's a racist and a psychopath. Sorry, dude. Yeah, and even the defenses.
Guess who he voted for?
Yeah, exactly, dude. The defenses at the time during this trial, during the lower courts, not the Supreme Court, they were like, oh, And, people say this about Native Americans too, where it's like, oh, your tribes have been fighting each other for years, and don't you enslave other tribes? And so basically his point is like, so isn't it all good that we enslaved you? Because that's basically what happened to you. So then what's the problem? And it's like, yeah, the problem is that it's a horrendous institution.
Yeah.
Like, what do you, like two wrongs make it like
drag you across the ocean for free labor.
Exactly. It's insane. It's like so crazy how everything just goes back to kindergarten. What are they, like, I don't forget who said it, but like every lesson in life you need to learn goes back to kindergarten. And then you have to, like, the legality of it just has to, like, you have to slap esoteric knowledge on it just to get things right. So that's the case of the Amistad. It had a good ending, but it's a, important story I think we should share. And it was one that, and it's a great movie to watch. So that's why I love a period piece movie. When I watched Saving Private Ryan, I didn't even know about D-Day. I watched that. I was like, what?
Dude.
Then I really got into World War II, and I'm like, we watched this movie. I think, it makes you want to make a difference. You could do something small as, and donate to the, American Civil Liberties Union. That's like the court that would, like, because court cases, you have to play the game, and ACLU does that on the behalf of people that are, less fortunate in many regards than most of us. And so I think that's a good way. And, there are other more active ways too. So be inspired, If
I may correct myself, Anna Paquin was not the youngest Oscar winner.
Ooh.
She won it at 11 for the piano. Tatum O'Neal won it at 10.
Tatum O'Neal.
For a movie with her dad, which now I'm forgetting the name of.
Yeah, I know
Paper
Will Ferrell
Moon?
like references
Paper
her.
Moon? Yeah, I think.
A quick rundown of some transatlantic slave trade dates, just from Africa and its abolition. 1444, first public sale of African slaves in Lagos, Portugal. 1482, Portuguese start building first permanent slave trading post at Almina, Gold Coast, now Ghana. 1510, first slaves arrive in Spanish colonies of South America, having traveled via Spain. 1518, first direct shipment of slaves from Africa to the Americas. And then that goes for a long time. Look at this date, 1777. State of Vermont, an independent republic after the American Revolution, becomes the first sovereign state to abolish slavery. So that's 1777. That's right after the American Revolution. 1780s, transatlantic.
I'm sorry, that was a really dumb joke.
But what? Yeah,
It's Vermont, so I said feel the burn.
Did you say feel the burn?
Bernie was old enough to be there.
That's hilarious.
Holy shit.
Dude, that's gold. I didn't have my friggin' I have headphones in right now, so I'm going. This is called commando podcasting with no headphones. 1780s, transatlantic slave trade reaches peak. 1787, the Society for Abolition of Slave Trade, founded in Britain by Granville Sharp and Thomas Clark, probably why Granville got its name in Sierra Leone. 1792, Denmark bans import of slaves into the West Indies colonies, although the law only took effect from 1803. Slave Trade Act of 1794 was a law passed by the United States Congress that limited American involvement in the international slave trade. It was signed into law, this has got to be wrong, by President George Washington on March... Oh, yeah. That's like on March 22nd, 1794. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
This was the first of several anti-slavery trade acts of Congress. It's weird because
They
I always think,
privatized it, essentially.
yeah. And then our revolution, like, we declared independence in 76, but we still fought the war, and that went to like 81, 83.
Yeah.
1807, Britain passes abolition of the Slave Trade Act outlawing British transatlantic slave trade. United States does this in 1808. 1811, Spain abolishes slavery, including its colonies through Cuba, rejects ban, and continues to deal in slaves. Yeah, so that's why in Cuba they had to fake the documents in 1839. They had to go through Cuba. 1813, Sweden bans slave trading. 1814, Netherlands does. 1817, France does. 1833, Britain passes Abolition of Slavery Act, ordering gradual abolition of slavery in all British colonies. They give reparations to plantation owners, 20 million pounds. Whack. Great Britain and Spain sign a treaty prohibiting the slave trade. Same year, 1819, Portugal abolishes slave trade. Only north of the equator, though. Portugal. Come on. 1823, Britain's Anti-Slavery Society formed. 1846, Danish governor proclaims emancipation of slaves in Danish West Indies. 1848, France abolishes slavery. 1851, Brazil. 1858, Portugal, finally. 1861, Netherlands. And they're the Dutch Caribbean colonies, so out there. 1862, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln, Emancipation Proclamation, January 1st. 1863, 13th Amendment. Constitution follows in 1865, banning it. 1886, slavery is abolished in Cuba. 1888, Brazil fully abolishes it. So I think they did a half thing back there in the previous date I mentioned. And then in 1926, only in 1926, the League of Nations adopts Slavery Convention abolishing slavery. It's in the 20th century. In 1948, United Nations General Assembly adopts Universal Declaration of Human Rights, including articles stating no one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and the slave trade shall be prohibited in all their forms. So we talk about this. Oh man, it's something in the history. It's something so long ago. It's in 1948, just right after World War II. So people will want to claim, oh, it's something that's not going on today. Yeah, dude, it definitely is.
There may be. I've heard tell that in Libya there's slave trading going on, which is abhorrent.
Totally.
And auctions, like in public.
I know. And, you know, I'm obviously stepping outside of my lane, and probably in this whole episode, but I watched a movie called, like, The White Tiger recently on Netflix. And, like, think about the caste system in India.
Yep.
You know, I mean, like, culturally that's so ingrained, and, you know, I would need someone to really educate me on that. But it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if there's not exactly trading going on. I think that's the key element here, you know, the verbiage. But it's just crazy. It's crazy. All right. We got to, I got to hop out of the studio. Let me just do one question here. Maybe it will be a stoke-inducing question so we can leave on a freaking dank note here. Strider, for my birthday, which is a few months away, I want people to respect me. It's like I'm a guy. I'm a dad. I don't want another damn necktie or a gift card to Roger Dunn Golf Shop. I want respect from my damn kids mainly, but really just everyone. Can I ask my family to respect me more for my B-Day? Or maybe I should wait for Christmas. People don't really ask for gifts for their B-Days, huh? I guess that's right. It's just the holiday season is so damn far out. I want to like book myself from my family, but I love them. Life is nuts, man. Thanks, Craig.
That's such a Craig thing to write in.
Dude, that's gold. I mean, yeah, I don't know if you can ask for a gift. I mean, your family's disrespecting you, dude. Yeah, you definitely don't want to book I mean, yeah, you love your family. It's tough, dude. I don't know, Aaron, you're a dad now, dude. I mean, you know, what's up?
I'm not having to deal with disrespect too much yet.
Yeah, you don't have an angsty teen. It sounds like this guy's got like teens or toddlers or something.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see with toddlers, but yeah, that's...
I mean, dude, you just basically, you know, I don't think you need to involve your birthday in it. I think, you know, enjoy your birthday. I think it's a separate issue here. I think, you know, have a nice dinner, dude. Take your wife out to some dank sushi, get a babysitter for your B-Day, enjoy yourselves. But, you know, I think you just have a talk now on any old day. The time is nigh. You know, the time to do the right thing is right now. And friggin' go ahead and talk to your family, you know, have a pizza night, or if you guys have game night or whatever, go, hey guys, before we start tonight, I just want to say I'm feeling this way. That's how I feel. I'd like your help. You know, I don't want you guys to feel negatively, and I do these things so you guys feel positively. Would you be willing on your end to do X, Y, and Z to help me feel positively? And then I think, you know, they'll have your back, and they'll have an effort because like that, they love you. And then if they go, nah, Dad, screw you, late, I'm going to go text boys in my room, then you got to boke yourself. No, I'm kidding. Then you got to do something else. I don't know.
I think it starts with your partner. I think that's a big thing. You gotta talk it out with your partner, and then present a united front to the kids, and I'll be like, this is some changes we're gonna be making, and you know, just go from there.
Great call. Great.
But I think over pizza is a really good idea.
Yeah, you get anything over pizza is always gonna be better. Yeah. All right, dudes. That's the freaking app. Write in with questions, comments, corrections. StriderWilsonShreds@gmail.com. Freaking stay stoked. Have a freaking dank day. Freaking late, dude. Thanks, Aaron.